Most guys butcher rapport with a woman they like without even realizing it. They think rapport is about smiling, nodding, and agreeing. Worse, they start interviewing her with questions like, "Where are you from? What do you do for work? What are your hobbies?" You know what? She's heard all this 1,000 times before. It's boring, predictable, and worst of all, emotionally dead. You can't build genuine rapport through facts and cold logic. You build it by hitting her emotional brain, not her thinking brain. And if you can do that, you instantly separate yourself from every other guy she meets. Today, I'm going to show you how. Better yet, I'll show you how to start using these tactics immediately so you'll hit the ground running. Some of these come straight from the playbook of Shogun Method, probably the most lethal emotional control system ever created in the history of mankind. Buckle up because you're in for the ride of a lifetime. We're going deep, so get some paper and a pen ready. Before we explore what works, you need to understand why most guys fail. The problem is simple. They seek comfort instead of connection. Comfort means playing it safe. Building a genuinely solid connection means taking emotional risks. When a man asks boring questions, agrees with everything, and tries too hard to be liked, he may create temporary comfort, but he kills attraction and emotional intrigue. Here's the truth. Women don't desire comfort. They crave emotional engagement, good and bad. They want emotional depth, which comes only from emotional turmoil and drama. And that's why the standard nice guy approach fails. It lacks depth, tension, soul, and most crucially, it lacks drama. Here's what women won't tell you. They don't logically choose who they connect with. Their subconscious mind, the part of the female mind completely controlled by their emotions, makes that decision. The female psyche is governed completely by the subconscious mind. This means you must learn to communicate below the surface, not through what you ask, but by how you make her feel. And this is why Shogun Method is lethally effective. It's the de facto authority on subconscious communications. As a shogun, instead of chasing facts, you're trained to chase emotional truths. You create the feeling inside her that, this man just gets me. Once she feels that, she bonds with you hard, mentally, emotionally, physically, and sexually. I'm going to hand to you the ultimate answer to the evergreen question of how to build rapport with a woman. If you take nothing else away from this video today, take this. Stop asking questions. Start making emotional statements. Questions engage women logically. Statements engage them emotionally. Instead of asking her, "Where are you from?" say, "You strike me as someone who's seen a lot more than she lets on." Instead of, "What do you do for fun?" say, "I bet you find normal parties boring because you crave deeper conversations." Remember, it's not an interview. It's about creating emotional reactions that lead to deep emotional rapport and sexual connection. Inside the Shogun Method community at shogunmethod.com, I teach a concept we call emotional labeling. It's the idea of slapping an emotional identity onto her and forcing her to react. Agreement or disagreement doesn't matter. What matters is deep emotional engagement. Okay, so we're now deep into Shogun-style rapport building. Before I give you the tactical techniques, beware of these 3 fatal mistakes that most men make while talking to women. The first mistake is the mistake of treating it like an interview. Asking logical questions turns seduction into a job interview, and it's the instant death of attraction. The second mistake is the mistake of over-agreeing. Nodding and agreeing with everything makes you look spineless and desperate for her approval. Women respect men who hold their own masculine frame. The third mistake is the mistake of rushing. Remember, rapport is a dance, not a race. If you push too hard, too fast, she'll pull away. Don't make it easy for her. Patience, control, and subtlety are the hallmarks of the wise shogun. The truth is, once you stop making these 3 mistakes, you're already ahead of the game. And to seal the deal, here are 5 tactical Shogun Method techniques for you to build instant emotional and sexual rapport with any woman you want. Make no mistake, here's where we separate the amateurs from the men she can't stop thinking about. These are 5 field-tested, battle-hardened techniques. If you use them properly, you'll create emotional experiences most women rarely feel, making you the man she dreams about long after you're gone. Tactic 1. The deep read. Instead of interrogating her like an interview, observe her and make an emotional read. For example, say to her, "You seem like the kind of girl who notices everything, but rarely lets people know what you're thinking." And here's why this works so well. Women long to be seen at a soul level. When you read her deeper emotional state, you bypass her defenses and touch her core. This is rare and attractive. In Shogun Method, we call this sonic probing, a military reconnaissance tactic adapted for mind control attraction. Tactic 2. The emotional ping. Drop a statement that triggers a specific emotional response and watch how she reacts. Say to her, "I bet you get restless easily when things feel too routine." With this statement, you provoke emotions without directly asking anything. You also subtly frame her as a woman looking for excitement and position yourself as the source. We call this a targeted ping, a strategic test of emotional openness. It's a close cousin of the intrigue ping, if you know what that is. If you don't, look for it in Module 4 of the Shogun Method core course at shogunmethod.net. Tactic 3. The story frame trap. Tell a story that subtly frames you as a complex and driven man. Here's an example of a story frame statement. "I get obsessed with what I'm passionate about. It's great for work, not always great for girls who want constant attention." And here's why this works. It portrays you as high value and mission-focused, two irresistible traits of the masculine man. Women chase what they think they can't fully possess. You're like a puzzle to them, and this makes you intellectually and emotionally intriguing. And as any shogun will tell you, intrigue leads to sexual attraction. Tactic 4. The tease-reframe combo. Tease her to spike her emotions, then reframe the tease into something flattering or intriguing. Say to her, "You're definitely trouble. You pretend you're innocent, but underneath, full of mischief." Deliver this statement with a playful and flirty tone. Remember, you're not accusing but teasing her. Teasing creates emotional spikes, mini roller coasters in the style of fractionation. Also, you reframe her somewhat with the statement, and reframing makes her own the identity you feed her. This builds a small emotional tension that she'll want to resolve. Tactic 5. The silent hold. After an emotional statement, shut up, hold the silence. For example, say to her, "You act strong, but I bet few people know the real you." And then pause and leave the statement hang in the air. Silence forces her to react and to fill the emotional gap you create. In psychological warfare terms, you're tapping into her cognitive dissonance, creating subtle emotional tension that gets her uncomfortable. This way, you'll stick in her mind, and before long, she'll seduce herself for you. Okay, so let's do a quick recap in 3 bullet points. Here's the definitive Shogun Method blueprint on how to build rapport with a woman. 1. To build rapport, stop asking questions. Start making emotional statements. 2. Avoid interviewing, over-agreeing and rushing. 3. Master the 5 Shogun Method tactical techniques on rapport building: the deep read, the emotional ping, the story frame trap, the tease-reframe combo, and the silent hold. Once you master these techniques, you'll have a power most men can only dream of. The power to connect emotionally and pull a woman into your frame effortlessly. But what I've shared here is just the tip of the spear. If you want to go deeper, to master emotional control, implant psychological addiction, and make her emotionally dependent on you, then you owe it to yourself to dive into the Shogun Method online masterclass at fractionation.org. The truth is simple. Ordinary men try to impress women, and they try too hard. Extraordinary men build emotional submission without lifting a finger. Do you want to be ordinary or extraordinary? Choose wisely. Go to fractionation.org right now and unlock the real playbook of attraction. You'll never look at women the same way again. Trust me. It'll be so laughably easy, you'd kick yourself not finding Shogun Method earlier. Click the link in the pinned comment or go here directly. fractionation.org.